right, and I'm rolling.
Hello everyone, I'm Mark Breitenberg, Special Assistant to the President at ArtCenter College of Design here in Pasadena, California. And I'm here with Jason Hill. He's a graduate of ArtCenter and a teacher in the world-famous Transportation Design program. He's also had an extraordinary career with such companies as Mercedes-Benz, Samsung Motors, as well as his own design studio, 11 LLC. Jason, how long have you been teaching at ArtCenter?
How long have I been teaching at ArtCenter? I've taught continuously for the last 10 years. However, over my entire career, I was also involved early on after graduation. I think about 3 years after graduation, I was asked to be an instructor for a class, and then I also spent time teaching as a professional at ArtCenter Switzerland, ArtCenter Europe, and that's how long I've been teaching here.
What's exciting about teaching at ArtCenter? Why do you keep coming back each year and teaching our students?
The exciting thing for me is it's always a fresh experience, both for me as an instructor, but more importantly for the students. And they always present new challenges, new ideas, and the whole overall philosophy and experience when they reach forward and they go through a journey of creation. You never know what you're going to get, and the most satisfying part is that you see them find and discover things that they didn't know was possible.
Right. So we know that ArtCenter is extremely famous for transportation design over the years, before you even came here. What is the key to ArtCenter's success? Why has ArtCenter become the leader around the world in training young designers?
Excellent question. I think there's a couple fundamental factors that lead to that, and one is within the walls, and the other is outside of the walls. Within the walls of ArtCenter, you have a base philosophy and a base of working professional teachers, and a consistent, how should we say, a consistent process that allows the transportation design program to attract a certain kind of person, where they might have been very unique in their own situation, but here they're kind of in like minds, and they push each other together, and that pulling along, I think benefits the student greatly. The transportation program, as far as the success, I think it's due to the broad international appeal. ArtCenter has always been a vanguard of international, global, attractive educational experience.
Right.
And therefore you get a rich, diverse experience and perspectives, all centered around, a car or an automobile design, but it's really much more about transportation.
Right. So, as you mentioned, one of the keys is that the teachers in the transportation design program at ArtCenter are themselves working professionals. They're not academics who've only taught. They've been out in the trenches in the industry. Who are some of the most famous graduates of the program that we've sent out to the world?
Oh, I mean, that list is very long. How much time do we have? There's some very famous recent graduates. There's some very famous old graduates that would say still permeate the walls here, and you can feel that. I know from personal experience, some of the teachers that were my teachers are now either retired or very high prominent positions. A lot of my colleagues from that time are now in positions of great importance, great leadership, and that professional experience and industry experience and studio experience, I think, really makes the strength of the school.
Yeah. The other important thing you mentioned is the international quality of the program. I think over half the students in the transportation program are from countries outside the United States, and increasingly from China, which is very exciting for us to see with the growing Chinese automotive design industry. It's very interesting to have students coming to Pasadena, California from China. So talk to the students that we're going to be teaching this summer.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most important thing for students to do as students to become great designers? How would you counsel transportation design students?
I think the best thing you can have is a really good sense of awareness of the process of design and how it fits in this global marketplace of automobiles and transportation, because we're facing a rapid change, a rapid acceleration, a real technological shift in the way we make and use and move about, and the way we make and use automobiles. The student needs to be prepared to reach beyond what the status quo is. So when they bring their preconception of mobility and transportation and cars, they have to be prepared to go a little bit further and challenge that. But that makes for the exciting result.
So part of that must be the willingness to take chances.
Exactly.
To do something you're not sure how it's going to come out.
Yeah. You have to, it's not, the student needs to be able to look in the rear view mirror to see what's come before, but really where the strength of the transportation design program is, and what a student should be doing, is looking ahead.
Right, exactly. So you teach a foundation class,
Yes.
several foundation classes at ArtCenter. Why is the foundation class so critically important for a student's education?
There's two parts to that answer. The foundation class is critical because it truly is a foundation that you build upon. We're now facing also, because of the digital age with the internet and also digital tools, we're facing a little bit more of an authenticity issue. And you can't fake it. You can fake it really well with the technology, but you can see right through that to the core, and the core authenticity comes from the foundation courses.
That's interesting. So really solid visual communication, drawing skills, courses like that, modeling.
Yep.
Great.
The ability to visually communicate without electricity.
So have you been to China before?
I have, yes.
And have you had a chance to teach Chinese students?
I've taught Chinese students in the workshops here,
Right.
and the classes here, but not specifically there.
Well, it should be very interesting this summer when you have this opportunity.
I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think young Chinese designers can do as transportation designers? What are the opportunities for their career today?
In the transportation design field, the opportunities are truly global. It's not restricted to domestic markets. I think there was a period where nationally you went out to learn and then you brought it back, but now the mixture is much more of a global flow. So the opportunities for any transportation design student are there in the home market and the global market, and it's a normal progression of kind of, let's say, integration, I think.
Right, so the
and
top
diversification.
The top studios and companies hire from all over the world.
They need that perspective.
Yeah, because the markets are that big.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. So in your 20 years of teaching, what's changed? What are the big changes between when you started at ArtCenter Europe and the kind of thing you're teaching today, both in the classroom but also as it reflects the industry itself? Because we have to keep
Right.
current when we're teaching students.
Yeah, that's a great observation, and I think there's a couple things that I could speak to on the big changes. One is the importance of design, and also the breadth of skills and the multitasking role that a designer truly needs to embody. It was always a kind of a high profile within a small area, but now it's a higher profile within a broader area. Everybody knows strategically the importance of design for a company, for a corporation, for a goal.
Right.
And now the designer level, the level of student and the skill set is much higher than was required at 20 years ago and even 10 years ago. This always amazes me, is the ArtCenter's ability to be ahead of the times and prepare students and prepare graduates to be right at the vanguard of the latest advances. And I think that's really a mark for this institution.
One of the things I've noticed, I've been at ArtCenter for about 10 years, it seems to me that when I first got here, the transportation design students were more about styling. And what I've seen is that they seem to be designing a whole driving experience.
Yes.
Do you think that's true?
It is, and that's, the industry's gone there, but they've been taken there by ArtCenter graduates, and that is key. You have to be able to put much more than the style. The style is important, but it's style with design plus user experience plus understanding.
Right. So that leads me to a question that I'm sure you've been asked, and car designers are often asked, is what about autonomous driving? What is the designer's role going to be if you're not actually driving the car?
Well, now you're really right back to where I left off with the user experience.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do if your hand's not on the wheel? And I think the default answer is a little bit misunderstood, and that's like, wouldn't you like to watch a movie?
Right.
No, there's a movie outside. That's really what we, and there's communication that we have now with our social media amongst our family and friends.
Right.
But otherwise, the movie's not on a screen, it's outside, because it's very uncomfortable to experience this motion while you're in a car. There's a reason we
that's
don't do
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
But the first thing I want to do is look around at the
Right.
world and see much more. That's why they put billboards there. That's why our whole freeways and systems are designed about vision points,
Right.
points of view, and we're not capitalizing on that.
That's interesting. So do you think we're going to move into a world of fully autonomous driving? Do you think the next step is hybrid driving, self-driving plus autonomous driving? What do you think the future is
I don't
there?
think there's a break. I think there needs to be a stepping stone, and I think that is the great question, is at what point do you take your hands off the wheel and you feel comfortable?
Right.
And that's the feeling, not the reality, but the feeling of that comfort is going to be a key design element.
Yeah.
Not the reality. We know we can safely protect an occupant against other things. It's the experience that's going to become most important.
Mm-hmm. Finally, what about your course this summer? What are you planning to do with it? And what should the students prepare to join the class in July?
Great question. I think for this summer, the students want to be prepared to be challenged. They want to be open to creativity.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do a little bit of understanding what the fundamental of an automobile is, but we'll really push to get a foundation of creative skills to allow them to explore and be part of an industry and a system that's truly changing.
And it will be centered around a project that the students will work on?
Yes, it'll be centered around at least one project with a mini project to balance out and allow them a freedom of creativity that they can apply to a more real world project.
Great. And what will the students get out of the class? What will they have learned or gained by the end of the class?
The students will gain a keen understanding of the foundation process of design and how to use it in transportation design, and they'll also get an excellent piece for their portfolio.
Great. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.